As I do more and more research on the Amex Gold Card, I start to wonder what options might be out there that are better for myself and for others. As we all know, choosing a credit card, a travel card, a charge card is very specific to your own personal situation, lifestyle, and finances. And because the Amex Gold Card works really well for a very specific person, I think I found some better options that work great for a wider range of people, especially if you don't spend enough to see value from the gold card. So the annual fees on these cards range from $0 to $250 because I didn't want to go higher than the annual fee on the gold card. And you can decide whether you want to use just one of these cards and put all of your spend on one card, or you can decide if you want to create your own little unique credit card setup. The first card we're talking about is the Hilton Honors card, and they just changed the design on this card, and I personally like the old design better, but they are currently running a promotion where you can earn 100,000 bonus points after spending $2,000 in 6 months. And we will talk about how a 100,000 welcome bonus on a Hilton card compares to a 100,000 point welcome bonus on the Amex Gold card in just a minute. My favorite part about this card are the multipliers. You get 7x at Hilton hotels and resorts, 5x on dining, 5x on groceries, 5x on gas, and 3x on all other purchases. The Amex Gold card is often praised for being an amazing everyday card, but I feel like these categories and multipliers are just way better. Let's say you have one card and you use it for everything, which is what I do. Let's say you spend $30,000 a year, $15,000 a year on dining and groceries combined, $2,000 on gas, $3,000 on hotels, and $10,000 on other random purchases. With the Amex Gold card, you would earn 60,000 points on dining and groceries, 2,000 points on gas, 3,000 points on hotels, and 10,000 points on other random purchases. This is a total of 75,000 points. With the Hilton Honors card, you would earn 75,000 points on dining and groceries, 10,000 points on gas, 21,000 points on hotels, and 30,000 points on random purchases. This is a total of 136,000 points, which is 61,000 points more than the gold card. However, one Amex point is worth 2 Hilton points, and sometimes you get 25% more points during a transfer promotion. So let's take a look at that. Okay, and what I want to do here is just show you, if we look at this hotel just because it's the cheapest, the Hampton Inn Fort Lauderdale, you can see that it's 35,000 points per night. And so obviously if you are just using your Hilton points, you're just going to pay that $35,000. But if we come over here to our Amex account and we see that we need, let's say, 70,000 points for 2 nights, you're only going to have to transfer 35,000 points. So you're spending twice as more points when you are booking directly with your Hilton points, which, depending on how much you travel, is going to be really inconvenient and really expensive. And so the extra points that you are earning by spending more, it's really going down the drain because it's so much more expensive to book directly with Hilton versus transferring your points out. You can also log into Amex Travel and see if that gives you a better deal. I doubt it will, but let's just take a quick look. To my surprise, it is cheaper to book on Amex Travel. It looks like it's 18,771 points. Let's just make sure that's correct. Sure it's the same hotel. Yep, it is. Wow. So in this example, again, it's also cheaper to book through Amex Travel, which honestly, I'm shocked because sometimes, I mean, it's a 50-50 situation with Amex Travel. Not all the examples. We're going to look at another example soon, but in this example, um, you're just missing out on so much value by booking directly with Hilton using Hilton points. But again, if you don't really travel and you definitely do not fly, this might be the better option, especially because this card has no annual fee. And for some people, they really can't afford extra expenses each month. Some people can't afford to save a little bit each month. And so maybe that's better for you. So while you are earning more Hilton points per year, Hilton points don't go nearly as far as Amex points do. If you don't fly often or ever, if you prefer to take the bus, the train, or drive, this might be the card for you. And when we talk about welcome bonuses, 100,000 Hilton points is just not going to do for you what 100,000 Amex points can. You can get 5 round trip flights with 100,000 Amex points. I don't even think you can get 5 nights for 100,000 Hilton Honors points. And if you could, it would be something super rare, something that you would really have to hunt for and be super flexible around. If you look at the Hilton Honors Surpass card, you'd earn 168,000 points per year, receive gold status, get a $200 Hilton credit, a free night reward, and the opportunity to be upgraded to Hilton Diamond status. I think these cards would also be really helpful for someone who doesn't spend enough per year to get value from the gold card and who also only travels once a year. There's some people who can really only travel once per year, whether it's due to their job, having kids, or whatever the situation may be. So if you are absolutely, by any definitions, not a frequent traveler, this might be something to look into, because if you're going to be earning an extra 60,000 points to 100,000 points per year just by having the Hilton Honors card, paying a little bit more for a room isn't really going to hurt you as much as someone who's traveling 3 to 4 times a year and is paying about 30,000 more per trip in points for their rooms, because they're booking with Hilton instead of transferring out. Especially because the card has no annual fee, and the annual fee is what gets a lot of people or holds them back from keeping the card, getting the card, or seeing value in having the card. There is another Amex card that I want to talk about, but let's switch gears to the United Quest card first. Now, the multipliers on this card are not the best, but I do feel like this card gives you a lot. And obviously, this card is only best for people who are loyal to United or who fly United most of the time. The one downside is the welcome bonus could be a lot better. You get 60,000 miles after you spend $4,000 in 3 months. You also receive up to $125 in statement credits each year for purchases made with United, 2 5,000-mile anniversary award flight credits, up to $100 for global entry, TSA PreCheck, or Nexus, 2 free checked bags, and more. I've heard a lot of people say or make the argument that the Amex Gold card is not a travel card, and I strongly disagree with that for a lot of different reasons. And the first one is just kind of petty, but when you go on the American Express website and you're choosing the cards you want, they give you the different categories that you can choose from. And the Amex Gold card is under the travel category, so that's just the first thing. The second thing is I personally categorize cards based on what kind of rewards you earn with them. So for example, if you're earning cash back with the card, it's a cash back card. If you're earning points with the card, it's a travel card. I think the Amex Gold card is a travel card for people who spend a lot of money on food. It's not a food card. The Amex Green card is a travel card for people who spend a lot of money on different types of travel. The Amex Platinum card is a luxury travel card for someone who spends a lot of money on flights and hotels, but who also travels frequently and has the income and spend to take advantage of certain benefits like unlimited lounge access and the benefits of FHR. And I'm not saying that you can only get value from the Platinum card by having unlimited lounge access. With the United Quest card, you will earn 3 miles per dollar on United purchases, 2 miles per dollar on all other types of travel, 2 miles per dollar on dining, 2 miles per dollar on select streaming services, and 1 mile per dollar on everything else. So if you spend $30,000 a year, let's say $4,000 on dining, $3,000 on United flights, $3,000 on hotels, $2,000 on streaming services, and $18,000 on other purchases, which can include groceries. And for this example, we're going to give you 1 point per dollar with the gold card on groceries because we're going to assume you are a family and you are trying to save money, so you're shopping at Walmart and Costco. You'd earn 16,000 points on dining, 9,000 points on flights, 3,000 points on hotels, 2,000 points on streaming services, and 18,000 points on everything else for a total of 48,000 points per year. With the United Quest card, you would earn 8,000 miles on dining, 9,000 miles on flights, 6,000 miles on hotels, 4,000 miles on streaming services, and 18,000 miles on everything else for a total of 45,000 miles per year. So with the United Quest card, you would miss out on about 3,000 points per year. However, with this card, you are getting a lot of benefits that could save you a lot of money out of pocket, like the TSA PreCheck, the 2 free checked bags, and the $125 in statement credits per year can really be helpful for you. Now, United is not an Amex partner, but let's compare a flight on United in miles to Delta in miles because Delta is a transfer partner of Amex. So we're going to look at a round trip flight in miles from Boston to Fort Lauderdale on January 16th through the 20th in economy. And let's see what happens. So as you can see here, I think it said earlier, because I looked at it earlier, it was about 20,000 miles round trip. So as you can see, I picked the cheapest date. It's 10,100 miles. Look at this, a layover though. You couldn't pay me to do a layover. I'm sorry. There's nowhere in the world I want to go that I'm willing to book a flight with a layover. All right, and this one has 10,100 miles as well. A little over 20,000 miles round trip. Now let's go to Delta. And for this example, we're going to assume you do not have any card that gives you the 15% off discount with Sky Miles just because I want it to be fair. So we're going to look at the same flight. And by the way, the flight that we looked at in United, it showed it in economy. So Delta has like 4 different options and it shows you the price with the lowest option. So like this 14,000 is for, I think it's called basic, which you have to be really strong to book a basic flight. I think one day I would try it if I was traveling by myself. So we're gonna use the main cabin option, which is 20,000 points. So you'd be saving about 200 points booking on Delta, which really isn't a huge difference. And I'm just going to say they're about the same price. However, this flight is nonstop. This is the better option in my book. I think the benefits of choosing a hotel or airline card is that even if you're not getting the highest tier or highest level of the card, you still get a lot of benefits, especially for travel. You get a lot of different perks directly with the airline, obviously, for flying with them. And that's something that Amex can't really give you. Having a card with your favorite airline could definitely give you a lot of value. And I think for a lot of people, it might even be better than having a card like the Amex Gold card or the Chase Sapphire card, any of them. But again, it's a case by case thing. So I'm just here to shed a little bit of light, give you something else to think about. There will probably be a part 2 of this video, but I just want to warn you about something really quick. If you are someone who carries a balance on your cards, it would be best to avoid all the cards that I mentioned in today's video, because these cards have interest rates that are so much higher than like a Discover It cashback card or just a lot of the cashback cards, with Capital One being the exception. Capital One's interest rates are over 30%, which I think is just insane. Just do yourself the favor. It's not worth it. You know yourself better than I do. Carrying a balance on a card like this, avoid it at all costs. Another benefit to getting a card specifically with an airline is that you don't have to pay taxes on your transfers. For example, if you were transferring 100,000 points out to Delta, you would have to pay $60 on that transfer. If you had the Delta Sky Miles card, you obviously wouldn't have to pay taxes to transfer your points out, because you wouldn't have to transfer your points out. And depending on how many transfers you do per year and depending on how many miles you transfer at a time, you could easily be spending $100 to $200 per year just in taxes to transfer your points out. So that's just something else to think about when you are weighing your options. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a little helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.